Rejection is often seen as a setback, a door slammed in your face, a path blocked. But what if it's not the end of the road, but the beginning of a better journey? Every single one of us has faced rejection, whether it's in love, work, friendships, or opportunities we thought were meant for us. It stings. It questions our worth. It shakes our confidence. But what if we flip the script? What if rejection isn't a curse, but a blessing in disguise? In this video, we'll explore how saying no can open doors you never imagined, how setbacks can set you up for success, and why learning to embrace rejection might just be the secret to unlocking your true potential. This is story number 1. Rejection is a blessing in disguise. There is not one person on this planet who has not faced rejection. We all have. We have all been told no so many times in our lives. We have all been shown the door or probably kicked out of it as well. But how we deal with it dictates the future course of our lives. I know it is easier said than done. There is a certain negativity associated with being rejected. We see ourselves as less worthy, less lucky, less competent, less intelligent, less deserving. The list is long. It is natural to feel sad when the doors are closed on us. We get resentful, hurt, and sometimes even want to take revenge on the person or establishment that did this to us. Whether it be a work rejection, a romantic proposal, a college or internship offer, a collaboration request, or even a plea for help, when we are turned down, it causes a certain heartache. Why me? What is wrong with me? Why am I always the one? These are questions that go through our heads. We start introspecting and keep falling into this abyss deeper and deeper. Instead, if we looked outward rather than inward, it would be a lot easier to deal with rejection. What if the person that rejected us is going through something we are not aware of? What if the company that rejected us had other priorities or limitations? What if the course that declined us entry knew we would struggle? Why can't it be for a good reason? Another good reason for a rejection could be to understand that it's probably a sign to level up. Maybe brush up on things that you can identify as your weaknesses. Become better, more prepared, more balanced, and leave little room for this to happen again. Often now when faced with rejection I feel glad. Glad because someone else had the courage to take this difficult step in order to save me my precious time. Someone else realized something I might not have. Someone else figured this wouldn't be worth our whiles. And what is wrong with that? It is something to be grateful for. Instead of being revengeful towards the rejecter, be thankful to them, for they are not only saving you a lot of your future time, but also opening up more possibilities that you might have never explored if that one thing you were waiting for came true. Like Thomas Edison's quote that has stuck to my mind ever since I read it as a kid, "I did not fail, I just discovered 10,000 ways it won't work." If you fail or get turned down, you just discover how or what not to do. So let one rejection or lost opportunity be the turning point from where you discover many more paths, for you may never know if the door you were running behind was the door to a castle or a mere distraction on the way. This is story number 2.
Rejection is a blessing. I truly believe that rejection is one of the greatest blessings I have ever received. I didn't recognize it and couldn't understand it at the time, but now looking back, I realized, it prepared me to be who I am today. When people said no, when they laughed in my face, when they thought they won, these things did not destroy me. I would admit, when I was told no, my heart sunk, and my thoughts would be, what's next? What's my options? And I would quickly switch to the next big thing to chase after. To prevent myself from falling to tears, I learned the art of switching off. It worked in my favor so well that sometimes I wondered if I had become emotionless. When it comes to rejection, one particular moment stands out for me. When I worked as an administrative assistant, I wanted to be a training instructor, and I was told I will never be a training instructor. When I mustered up the courage to speak about my rejection, a coworker hinted to me. He said, "You have the knowledge and skills to transform people's life, don't let others discourage you." I was 28 years old and I couldn't stand up to my supervisors because I lacked the confidence in myself. I always saw them as being more superior than I was because of their job titles. The comment devastated me, but it also opened my eyes. I was grateful for my boss' harsh words, as they helped me discover my gifts and talents, build my confidence and command my respect. For lower-level staff like myself, criticism can be rampant. The key is not taking every comment at face value. And not allowing the opinions of others to define you or your worth. We have to be able to believe in ourselves, know our strengths, weaknesses, our passion, and be able to discern. Ask ourselves, is this just mean, nasty, unkind words that needs to be thrown away? Or despite the nasty wrapping, is there some truth? Can I learn something from this? How can I use this to take me to the next level? And remember, there's no point in surrounding yourself with people who will spend all of their time boosting your ego. Don't surround yourself with yes people or negative, toxic people. Surround yourself with successful people where the conversations can be different. Surround yourself with people who can add value to you and help you to grow and be the best you can be. If somebody believes in you, they'll critique you so that you can grow and reach your potential. I believe in you, but you have to first believe in yourself. Rejection can be a blessing in disguise.
This is story number 3.
A blessing in disguise. How to harness the power of rejection. Rejection is never fun. Whether it be that rejection letter from an open position you've just applied to, or that pretty girl you've had your eye on for a while outwardly rejecting your advances, at some stage in life you have to take the brunt of rejection. It's not easy. Rejection can easily knock your confidence and make you feel as though you have nothing to offer. It hurts. Really bad. I've been rejected from a lot of things. I remember the first time I ever asked a guy out. Phew. I was in my very early teens, and mind you, I wasn't the cutest either. My fashion sense was still developing, and I wore the most granny-like pair of spectacles you'll ever see. My hair was always super scruffy too. As a chubby tomboy, I was always playing around outside in my garden if I wasn't writing or reading. I must have been 14 years old and crushing heavy on this guy I met through a friend. Picture this, it was during the time of BlackBerry Messenger, MySpace, and MSN. We'd talk all the time and I was certain he was going to be my first beau. So I plucked up the courage and told him I liked him. He laughed awkwardly and said it wouldn't work between us. A week later, he changed his profile picture to one which showed him and who was evidently his girlfriend. Ouch! I was inconsolable for weeks. I've been rejected for jobs, programs, and some really awesome positions. I remember when I first graduated, I was getting rejected left, right, and center. I got rejected so many times I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought companies would see my name and suddenly get chills or something. That one is bad vibes, I imagine they'd say. Point of the matter is, rejection is a fundamental part of the human experience. You can either choose to ignore it, or you can choose to utilize it for your good. It wasn't until I started transforming the way I thought about the functionality of rejection that I started to value it all the more.
This is story number 4. As I look back on my life, I realized that every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. My first big rejection at age 24 taught me to trust the higher wisdom in all the rejections that were to follow. At that point in my life, I had already had 3 professional jobs, hopping from one to the next trying to find the one that truly fit who I thought I was, the one that would make my heart sing. After months of searching and interviewing for my 4th professional position, I thought I had finally found the perfect job. I was hired to be an event coordinator for a museum in Southampton, New York. It looked absolutely perfect on paper, as if the universe had just given me the greatest gift. On my first day of work, I was told to take a train into New York City, 2 hours away, to meet with the fundraising committee of the annual event that I would be helping to organize. I ironed my suit the night before, and set my alarm to get up at 5 a.m. to catch the 7 a.m. train. The next morning I awoke to the sound of the train leaving the station, located less than a mile behind my home, not the alarm. To my horror I realized that my alarm had failed to go off. This had never happened before. Now what? No worries, I could still drive to the city. 20 minutes later I was zooming down the road, with plenty of time to get to the 10 a.m. meeting. An hour into the trip, my car broke down on the highway. How could this happen? It was a new car. At this point, I was beginning to feel like something odd was happening, like I wasn't meant to attend this meeting. But I focused all my energy on solving the immediate problem. I needed to get to New York City, and fast. I hitched a ride to a gas station to get the car fixed, and called my new boss to explain the situation. Alarm didn't go off, car broke down. I told her that I've called for a taxi, and should arrive to the meeting very close to 10 a.m., maybe a bit after depending on traffic. Her response was not to worry, the meeting wasn't that important, my attendance wasn't critical, and to go home. So I got the car fixed, and drove home. The next morning, I showed up early for my second day of work at the museum, and within 15 minutes, I was fired. My boss explained that oversleeping on my first day was a bad sign for the future, and they couldn't risk this potentially happening again. None of my explanations counted, I was fired, period. To say the least, I was devastated by this rejection. At the same time, something in the back of mind whispered. This job is not for your highest good. You were fired so that you would keep looking for something that matched you even better. With no other choice, I started my job search again, and within 3 months found the job that would set in motion a career path that eventually led to where I stand today as an MBTI certification trainer, a career I've dearly loved for the past 30 years. And of this all happened because I was rejected, and thereby redirected into a career where I could make my highest good contribution. Conclusion. Rejection is never easy, but it doesn't have to define you. Every no you face has the potential to redirect you towards something greater, something you might not have considered or even imagined. It's in these moments of pain and reflection that we grow, adapt, and discover our true potential. So, the next time you hear no, remember, it's not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter, one that could lead to incredible opportunities. Embrace rejection, learn from it, and let it guide you toward your highest purpose. Thank you for watching, and if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Let's continue turning challenges into triumphs, together.